Hi, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is. This is Stephen Carter, Black Butterfly. This is Black Star, Still Rising. And we're with you, and you're with us today. And I have such a great guest. I have with me Victoria Whitsett, who is the, what's your title? Please tell me again.
I'm the program director for the Black Star Project.
Director for Black Star, and headed by Gloria Smith, the executive director. And Black Star, as most of you know, is the brainchild of the founder, Philip Jackson. And we're here today, and we're going to find out a little bit more about Black Star and some of the programs that you're doing now.
Absolutely.
Victoria, tell me a little bit about yourself. You're a Chicago native, I think.
Chicago native,
Okay.
Yes, born and raised in Chicago. I was raised on the north side of Chicago, actually, in Rogers
You're a
Park.
North Sider.
Yes.
They don't say things like South Side and West Side. They don't say North
Well,
Side.
we hear it all the time, but no, we're unfortunately the north side is not included in the rivalry.
Okay.
I think that we just don't get recognized
But
as a
you
part
are
of
here
Chicago.
to recognize Chicago today. You're
Yes.
going to put.
I am here to
you're gonna-
represent for the north
35th
side of Chicago.
And MLK Drive with Jackson. You're going to make you recognize and Black
We
Star
are
recognized.
Chicago,
All
yes.
right. And an intimate part of Chicago. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about your experience. First of all, how you got into, because you told me an interesting story, how you had heard about Black Star and how you came into it. Do you remember that story?
Well,
you told me off camera.
it has to be only one story. So
That's
yes,
the true story, right?
I do. It's the true story. So
Okay.
I do remember. I was interning at Flowers Communications Group after receiving my
great
degree.
Black female-operated advertising company. You can give us some credit.
Yes, public
Okay.
relations and marketing. It's full scale, I believe.
Okay.
After receiving my degree in public relations and minoring in Black American Studies
Where
at
at?
SIU.
Uh-oh.
C.
Were you at the party in school?
I
But they didn't
was-
party there when you were there, right? Oh, you're not going to say that. Huh?
No, there were a handful of parties
handful.
at Carbondale.
And
Yes,
you learned to put studies in front of your partying, right?
it's a must.
Okay.
It's a must.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
But a great experience. Everybody that goes to SIU, they have great stories. I won't even mention the one about Herb Kent or the Kappas. We don't talk about the Kappas on this because it's the Alpha program here. But tell me some more about your experiences there and move on to what you're doing now and how you came into it.
Well, you know, one of the things that I really enjoyed about being a student at SIU and an alum is that the student really prepared us, the school really prepared us for entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And so everything was available to us to be able to take part in creating different TV shows, radio shows, events. And so we were hands-on at SIU. And so if there was a function that we wanted to have or a fundraiser or anything that we were passionate about in getting started, the school simply gave us the resources to do whatever was needed.
Let me diverge just for a second off of Black Star. If you were directing, advising a young woman, young man about going into the industry, into PR or whatever, what would you tell them and how to prepare for it?
To prepare for public relations?
Yes.
Well, I believe that preparing for public relations is all about education.
Okay.
And then
You got to
also,
be a good reader.
you must be a good reader,
writer?
a good writer, but also a good editor, because
Okay.
good writing is rewriting. But it's education, and then it's also just making sure that you can put yourself in front of as many opportunities as possible
And
to
this is
see
one
exactly
of those
where you fit.
occasions. Okay. But tell us about you and Phil Jackson.
So after interning at the Flowers Communications Group, there were a couple of interns and myself. We were on the WVON show. I can't remember the name, but Phil Jackson called in and he offered us all a position there as a mentor. And so Phil Jackson positioned myself and other interns at different schools in the Chicago area, CBCA, Hyde Park Academy, Kenwood Academy. And we were there as advocates for the
I'll
students.
tell you why I interrupt you. Many folks think that they have to get a paying job to get experience. My guess is if you were paid anything, it was a small stipend or nothing, but you got valuable experience.
Well, at the Black Star Project, no, there was I would say we were paid well.
Okay.
Yes.
Ooh, I didn't know that. I'm glad you're telling folks
were
about
paid
that.
pretty well,
Okay,
yes.
good.
We were paid pretty well at the Black Star Project. Phil Jackson really took care of his constituents and anyone that worked for the company.
I come from an era where I worked for many years in publication, Defender, Courier, Civic, never got paid, but I got my byline, and that was almost important in getting exposure to. And would you say anything about exposure to the area that you're in? And just want to spend a couple of minutes because I want to get our viewers and especially parents to look out for their kids and what's happening there.
Yes, well, I would say networking is a big thing.
Okay.
Related to being able to manage the programs over at the Black Star Project. That's how we met each
Jump
other.
into the programs
Which
now.
event was that? Was that the Community Day event? I believe there was Citibank.
Okay, yeah, Citibank was
Yes.
the event, yes.
Yes, it was the Community Bank. Community Day, Citibank was there. And so networking, we are at most events, we are promoting a lot of community-wide events and then also sponsoring events as they sponsor us as well.
Well,
And so
tell
we do
me
a lot
about
of
the
networking.
specific community events that are coming up that you want to share with our audience, please.
Absolutely. Citibank, they are having a Piggy Bank and Book Bonanza coming up July 22nd at the Black Star Project, and we definitely want to
Piggy
invite
bank
everyone to
and
register.
What? Piggy bank and what?
Piggy Bank and Book Bonanza.
Oh, you got to tell me a little bit about that because I might want to come.
Okay.
Is it for elders?
Actually, no. You would have to
Okay.
bring a student.
I had to bring some mentee, right?
Yes,
Okay.
a student that is looking to obtain books
Okay.
and also obtain $25 in a piggy bank from Citibank.
A real
And
piggy bank that,
yeah, they'll put it in the piggy bank, but it's actually a savings account that they're going to create for them.
wow, so there's some financial literacy
Yes.
implications too at a
Absolutely.
young age that folks need at a young age. don't they?
Absolutely. So this is one of the last events that we're going to have with them.
Take this where you want to take it.
Well, the second event that we're going to have, Citibank is actually inviting us downtown to their office.
Okay.
And they're going to give all of our students and our staff a tour of the trading floor and then teach us about financial literacy. Same thing you just mentioned. And we believe that's going to be an amazing event. I believe that's going to be July 12th.
That's going to be a hot thing, financial literacy, because I was in part of that initial phase of financial literacy back around 9/11. I remember that very distinctly because that was the kickoff date that we coordinated with Washington, D.C., and the people that were coming in couldn't leave D.C. because of 9/11. But that was we were with a program called ABLE, and we were teaching financial literacy to youngsters, young folks, and to people who couldn't use financial literacy training. But go ahead, please.
Well, that's pretty much what we have going on with Citibank.
Okay.
We also have a tour of the S.C. Johnson factory in Wisconsin, Racine.
Wow, wait a minute, tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, so Racine, S.C. Johnson has invited us down to their Racine location. And so we are going to load up the bus August 3rd and take all of our students, all of our staff to Racine for a
Got
day of a
chaperones and
tour.
stuff from the families and
Yes, the
kids?
families
Okay.
are coming,
Okay.
our parents are coming, our children are coming, and they will give us a complete tour of how everything is made in their factory. And we went last year, and so it was a great time, and so we thought it would be a really good event to have again this
So
summer.
what was the feedback from the kids and the parents when you did that last year?
Well, from what I remember, most of the students had no idea the process in, that it takes to create certain products like toilet paper and Q-tips. And so our feedback was that of a natural one that one would have once they were informed of those different processes. And the students found it very interesting to be able to know from the beginning to the end and how it gets to the store and then where they meet the product as consumers with paying for it from the aisle to the counter.
It reminds me of my early days in grammar school, remembering going to the stockyards when they still were here in Chicago. And Chicago was the hog butcher of the world. And I think I probably was in about 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. And we went through the stockyards and we saw how cattle, pigs were brought in to slaughter. And it was not an easy thing for us to see that, but we were able to make the connection between what they did and what was in the grocery stores afterwards. So my guess is that your students started to make some connection there too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Did anybody say I want to be in manufacturing or whatever?
No, none of them. They were just interested. Most of them,
Okay.
I think they want to be teachers or doctors,
Okay. They
lawyers.
didn't know the money was in some other things too. Do they-
Well, we'll maybe have more workshops for them to see.
Okay, about
Yes.
making the money, right? Tell me about what you're doing now. Oh my goodness! Don't tell me this time is moving that fast. But go ahead. Okay, thank you. My control people, they're trying to keep us under control so we don't miss any of the hot spots and the major spots. Go ahead, tell us about what you're doing now.
So what I'm doing now, on top of these events, is the Ambassadors of Hope program at the Black Star Project. And so we have a variety of enrichment activities for our students, and then also an excursion once a week. And so what Citibank is doing with us really ties in great with our program.
An excursion. What is an excursion?
A field trip.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, you put a fancy name on
it. Is a fancy name.
It's not real fancy.
We're going to Citibank. So that's an excursion.
I got to stop because if I forget, I've got to reintroduce. We've got Victoria here. Victoria Whitsett, who is the program director
yes,
for
the Black Star Project.
And what's the number for the Black Star Project if a parent is interested in getting their child into the program? What should they do?
They should call 773-285-9600.
And what should they expect? What should their child look for, and what ages?
Well, they can pretty much just let us know the range of their child. We have a variety of different programs for different ages. And so they can let us know what they're looking for. If they're looking for something after school, we also have Saturday University where students come and they do homework and they learn different activities on the weekend.
Is that part of a STEM program?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Tell us a little bit, just a little bit about that.
Well, most of our programs, we have to include STEM or STEAM right now, adding the arts.
A lot of folks have heard the term STEM, but they're not sure what it means. They have some idea. Give just a little bit about that, what they would do.
So STEAM is science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics.
Okay.
And so first and foremost, we love to create programs for violent prevention. And with that, a lot of our enrichments are STEAM related to make sure that we are engaging our youth emotionally and intellectually, and then also teaching them, pretty much the ways of the world.
And does that steer them into more positive engagements with the world, or preparing them for looking at or choosing a career path?
Yes, it steers them in that area, and then it also engages their hobbies. And so what STEAM does is it actually kind of promote those hobbies that they may have. Let's say we have a student that's interested in creative writing or is interested in video production. And so having enrichments that can help them cultivate those hobbies and those skill sets, and then encourage them to look for career paths in that area, that's what we are really focusing on right now.
I was fortunate to be able to sit in and watch some of your students engage, but you were starting to tell me that day what they were doing, the projects of making a film?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, tell me about that.
Well, I can't tell you too much about the film.
Why?
Because we are still in the creative process of it, and if the students heard that I told anyone about it and there were cameras,
Mom's the word, right?
I would probably not make it after that. And so
no,
they are the writers, they are the creative directors of everything, and I am just the videographer and the producer and the editor.
What age group is this?
I'm working with 8 to 13, and so we are creating somewhat of a short.
Is that a wild bunch?
It is a wild bunch.
I saw some of them play, and it wasn't chaos, but it was kind of organized.
Chaos.
Yeah, it was chaos,
Yes.
but I saw how they engaged and we were talking about how they make rules for themselves, and I remember how important that was growing up, that we followed rules that were fair, and we developed camaraderie, but I see that happening. Is that what you're seeing too with your group?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, you had the ability to eat with us yesterday.
Yes.
And so lunchtime is a complete fiasco.
It was.
But it was enjoyable,
there
isn't it?
There were some hungry people.
There's
there.
good food. There's great conversation taking place over food.
Do they eat every day in the program?
We eat really well every day in the program. Miss Gloria really takes care of everybody.
Tell
in
us
the
the
program.
number to call to get involved, to see if it's not too late to get somebody in the program.
It is not too late. We are constantly welcoming people. 773-285-9600.
I didn't hear you again. Tell me again.
773 285-9600. You can
And
give
what
us a
should
call
they
at the Black
ask for?
Star.
What should they say when they call? My name is so-and-so, and my
Well, you can say you want more details about the Ambassadors of Hope program.
Ambassadors of Hope program.
Yep, or any other program that we have that will support your youth in STEAM or their emotional
And
intelligence.
where is that located at?
3509 South King
Oh,
Drive.
wait a minute. Is that the same place where Phil Jackson Way is?
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to make sure we could tell you. Because I was there at the dedication not that long ago. It seems like yesterday. But
Yeah.
yes, easy
That's
to
it.
get to. Bus lets you off right there.
Right
Run
there.
right
I think it's the
upstairs.
number 3 bus.
Number
actually.
3 bus.
Yeah.
Cottage Grove bus goes close to that too.
Very close. It's not far.
Okay. Tell me some of the interesting things that you've gotten from the students from their experience. I know you have some anecdotal things that you can probably tell on TV.
Yes. Let me think, because they are teaching me something every day.
Oh, well, tell
I
us
learn
about
something
that.
new from the students every day. But they're really teaching me dynamics of the youth, and that they really crave structured play. When we allow them to just go at it on their own, that's when a lot of the chaos comes in, and
I
a
saw
lot
you
of the
put the
unruly.
kibosh on some of the things. You were firm, and they got the message real quick. Miss Victoria, they call her, don't they?
They do call me Miss Victoria.
Sign of respect. Okay, Miss Victoria, I'm cool. Tell me
No,
some more.
they are amazing. They have so many incentives. We have an incentive jar, and so they want these little tokens that we give them, and there's prizes at the end. And so,
Incentive jar.
yes, they're really good kids.
Is
and
that your creativity that you put into that?
Yes.
Okay, you came
Yes.
up with that?
yes,
Did Gloria
yes.
give you a bonus for that?
Well, Gloria allowed me to get whatever I needed to be able to
Okay. She's
give the
supportive of
students
you.
what they need.
She trusts in you. And my guess is, even though it's a nonprofit organization, you are getting a lot of experience that you have had over these. How long have you been with them now?
Just this summer.
Just this summer. How'd you get back to it? Because you came at a time when Phil was still around,
Yes,
right?
I came at a time when Phil was around, and then I left off to journey on different things, and then I came back.
Okay.
I was able to come back and work with the youth. Because it is a nonprofit, it's not always the most best decision financially.
Okay.
And so I had to go off and learn different skill sets on a different salary.
You're saying that you're not making the big money at nonprofit, right? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, nonprofit is for the children.
Right,
It's for the passion.
No, I do understand that. I
Absolutely.
worked with nonprofits before too, and then there's salary limitation, but it's the mission. What's the mission as far as you're concerned, and that you found yourself drawn back to Black Star?
Well, Miss Gloria would say freedom.
Freedom to innovate?
Freedom to innovate, create, and she would say this all the time. She says it all day long. She says that, and I may botch it up, so I kind of don't even want to say it now.
So we can cut
But
it if we have
she
to.
says, those who believe in freedom cannot rest.
I've
And
heard
so-
that a few weeks ago at a
Yes.
program that they had. Those who
Yes.
say it again.
Those who believe in freedom cannot rest.
That's right. That's
Yes,
right.
that is her saying. And so the
And
work
what
that we
what
do
does Phil
is to
say
make
too
sure.
about education or die? Tell me that saying.
Phil says educate or die.
Educate or die, and that's so
Yes.
true.
Mm-hmm.
You've got some things coming up.
Yes, we
Tell
do.
me what's coming up and what would be exciting to our viewing audience.
Well, the Book Bonanza and the Piggy Bank is open to all youth, whether you are a Black Star student or not. You can give us a call and we will show you how to register.
Okay. I don't know who it was when I was at the event the other day, but they were talking about the book banning and the books that have been banned, including the one by our National Poet Laureate that was banned in Texas. Do you remember any of that conversation, and what would you say about books and literature? I know as being in public relations, literature, books, is your gold mine. What would you say about libraries, school districts that are banning books these days?
Well, there's a lot to be said about libraries and school districts that are banning books right now. But I believe we have to really focus on, I guess, the information that they are trying to get across, and when they ban a book. And so just trying to understand why a book is banned in those different public areas.
By one member of the community, one parent,
by one member of the community.
Get a book banned for all the hundreds of other people, which that's the part that doesn't make sense for me.
Well, within that particular organization.
Okay.
But the book isn't banned publicly or profitably. The book can still be purchased on Amazon. It may not be at the library. It may not be at the school. There may be some touchy topics that the teachers are
not familiar with,
are inexperienced with teaching.
Yes.
And so sometimes a lot of things get banned based off of, I don't want to say everything, but based off of inexperience. How can they teach this material?
And it takes a dedicated teacher, but I would take it further. It's a dedicated educator who feels strong enough, and I know some that I have been experienced with, that they had to fight and put together lesson plans that will allow them to teach a variety of students, a variety of ethnic students in their class, to appreciate the broader range of what was in the standard curriculum, if you can put it that way.
Yes.
Did you do any teaching yourself? Is that one of the things that you did too? But I know you do some teaching. You're an educator too.
More mentoring. More mentoring, less teaching.
Okay.
But I do believe that a lot of teaching should definitely take place in the home. And so a lot of the books that are banned, they can still be taught in the home. Those books can still be bought on different, sites and different stores, and they can still be purchased, and they can still be taught to your student. And so I'm definitely an advocate of education inside the home.
What are some of the things, I know your parents come to you too, and they give you their heartthrobs, you might say, in your care. What do they ask you? What do they question about what you're going to be doing with their child? From what time to what time? How long do you have them?
From 9:30 to 4. And
that's a long time.
That's a very long time. But our parents, they really trust us.
And your hair is still there.
Yes.
You haven't been pulling out
They are really good kids. I promise you, the kids are great.
Energetic, that's for sure.
Yes, they have a lot of energy. So I have to have a lot of energy as well, and just make sure that they have the things that they need, the structured play, the structured enrichment, because they do want to learn. At this age, they're sponges, and they can take in so much information. And so just making sure that we have a program for them is the biggest thing. So as the program director, I make sure that they have a schedule. Our parents, they trust us at the Black Star Project.
Gotcha.
And they are supporters and advocates. And so if I need anything, the biggest thing is I need support from my parents versus a parent that's not supportive. And so if I can call on my parent and say, we need your help in this area, or this is what we're seeing, that's really our relationship. It's a supportive role because it takes a village.
Tell me, so Gloria won't be mad at you. She doesn't very rarely get mad.
Gets mad.
Tell the audience what they should know. Tell Mama Gloria what our listening audience should know in either enrolling their kids, what's left of the year for them.
What they should know at the moment is pretty much how to get in contact with
Phone
us.
number? Okay.
But that's the biggest thing and what we believe, which is violent prevention. Say it again.
What hours?
The hours. Again, the hours are 9:30 to 4 p.m.
And the phone number is?
773-285-9600.
Okay. And they'll either talk to you, Gloria, or somebody there when they call?
Yeah, they can ask for Victoria or they can ask for Gloria. Miss Gloria may be the one that answers the phone, and so Miss Gloria can give you all the details you need.
Okay. And what would you say one of the prime things that they could expect from their children, whatever the ages are? Give the ages again, please.
The ages in our Ambassadors of Hope program is 5 to actually 13. We do have a 5-year-old. But one of the things that they can expect is they are going to be educated. They're going to learn violent prevention strategies, and they are also going to constantly receive behavior modification activities.
I saw some areas where violence could have been avoided, or was avoided, because they learned violence. What did you call it?
Violent prevention.
Prevention, yeah. Yes. They got very heated. We got 5 seconds left for anything. Thank you, Victoria, for being our guest today. Gloria, our executive director of Black Star. Black Star still rising. Phil, you be proud of your sister. Black Star still rising. Thank you for your audience. Look for us next week. We're going to have another exciting program. Maybe not Victoria next week, but it's going to be exciting. Look forward to us. Are you giving us some extra time today? No extra time. You cutting us off? Okay, thank you. Thank you for tuning in today. Victoria, thank you so much for being my guest.
Thank you for having me.
On fairly short notice, too.
Absolutely. All right.